Well, the history goes way back before when I came to Fort Lauderdale. The history of the Las Olas Company is from a period back in the mid-1920s when a large portion of my family who was living in Chicago would come down here in the winters to get away from the cold Chicago climate.
In the early 1930s, John and Preston Wells actually came to Fort Lauderdale, and they saw this vibrant downtown. And next to this vibrant downtown, there were blocks of jungle. Just trees, just lush landscaping.
They started coming down, enjoyed fishing, enjoyed the weather, enjoyed the beaches. In the late 1920s, decided to invest a little bit of money down here and actually got into building Coast Guard cottages out on the beach. So the very first name of this company was the Coast Guard cottages.
The vision came out of the two brothers and saying, like, you know, if you have a vibrant downtown area, maybe it's time for us to create also an entertaining, dining, shopping type of a district. So they started to convert that land into Las Olas Boulevard, which is translated out of Spanish, the waves, which goes really well with our river being right next to us, but also the ocean being not far away from there.
My great-grandmother and two of her brothers decided to build winter residences down here, and to this date, those properties are still in the family, respectively. My brothers and I and my sister own the property that my great-grandmother built in 1935, and the other two are still in the family as well.
In 1936, they were scratching themselves at the head and saying, like, you know what, our only customers are not only the locals. We need to do something for our visitors.
The initial hotel, the three-story portion, was opened on December 17th, 1936. And it opened to such great fanfare that before the season was even over, the family decided that they ought to expand the hotel because they got so much business out of it. So the very following year, they introduced the six-story portion of the hotel, which is the typical old postcard of the Riverside Hotel that you see.
And it's the original building where Indigo is housed, and needless to say, Wild Sea today. And they called it Champ Carr. So you might ask, why was it called Champ Carr? Well, Champ Carr was the first general manager of the Riverside Hotel. And he was the general manager until 1947. And they did really, really well. I think it was a clever idea to accommodate visitors coming to town, but also focusing on the locals, that you have year-round business.
Today's hotel includes now this portion of the hotel that is 12 stories high, and after all said and done, we're 231 hotel rooms. We've come a long ways, but the very first portion of the hotel was built and delivered in 1936. If you visit the hotel, that's the area that is the front lobby, the front desk area, and the finishes, particularly the floor in there, is still the original floor from those days. So that floor is over 80 years old. When the original hotel was built, there was not a restaurant component to the hotel. And so over the years, the family would buy property on the boulevard, amassing what is today a pretty nice compound of properties. Through expansion and through acquisition of these properties adjacent to the hotel, we were able to add on two restaurants, one which is today Wild Sea, and the other one is Indigo. My mother and my siblings and I moved down to Fort Lauderdale in the early 70s. We lived abroad for a number of years. We lived in Europe for 9 years, moved back to the Chicago area, and realized that it is cold up there in the wintertime. So we moved down here in January of 1975. For me, was an instant connection. It was paradise. I had spent a number of years moving around to a lot of different places. When I got to Fort Lauderdale, I knew right away I was home. It was a great place to grow up. I can, as a teenager, remember fishing the New River for tarpon and snook and looking at the Fort Lauderdale skyline, and the only building that was visible and why it was called was the Landmark Bank building. That was the only high-rise in Fort Lauderdale. Went to Nova High School. After Nova High School, I went to the University of Miami. And after the University of Miami, I got my master's degree at Nova Southeastern University. I have had a lifelong desire to be in the position that I am now. And by good fortune and the belief and support that I get from my family members, I have ended up doing what I'm doing. But my background is, my entire life has been real estate and development. When the opportunity presented itself in 2010, I really felt like this was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I am so thankful to my family for giving me the opportunity to do it.
It is very exciting what this company is actually doing. They never stop progress. They are constantly challenging us in order to take this company to new heights.
I try not to interfere with the day-to-day business. I have a tremendous general manager in the hotel who is very well seasoned. What I like to do is to try to give everybody their opportunity to be a part of what happens. As a privately owned independent hotel and not a brand hotel, is we're allowed to think outside the box. We're allowed to have a little bit of fun.
You have many arms in our operations. So you have from front office to guest services to housekeeping, engineering, food and beverage, sales, marketing, revenue management.
Every hotel has its strength and weakness, but we sell the destination. You know, we have Las Olas Boulevard and the New River, and you know, this beautiful piece of property with all of its unique space in between. It's a very, very nice sell.
They were able to give me a lot of opportunities I felt like maybe I wouldn't have gotten in the corporate world right off the back. They saw that the potential I had, and they're willing to take that risk, and you know, they did take a risk with me, but at the same time, we're both investing in each other now. This is my first hotel experience, and I'm loving it so far.
It's definitely very family-oriented. It doesn't feel like work. Everyone is super friendly. Everyone gets along great. Everybody's very passionate about what they do and about their work and their department. And it shows because, you know, all the department heads, all the leaders here really do take ownership of their department. It's great to work amongst all these different leaders.
I have a team of 8 that comes in, you know, with questions and ideas and, you know, best practices. What do you think about this? I want to go to the show, and, you know, can we fit this in? Can we book this event?
Go Riverside!
And then we do things like Christmas on Las Olas and planning the Winterfest and, you know, boat show and doing, you know, large-scale activities and conducting familiar fam trips, planning with the CVB, bringing new clients in and showcasing not only the hotel but the destination.
We needed to rebrand some of our venues as well. And when you take a look at Preston's Wine and Martini Lounge, nowadays we have 3-4 networking events a week in there where people just come and gather and meet and mingle just the way how we actually put it together. Another beautiful venue that we have in our hotel is the Golden Lion Vintage Pub. You know, you probably know the TV show Cheers. That's how it feels. Everybody knows your name. I can probably write on the back of every chair the name of the locals where they actually sit in Golden Lion.
We have banquet and catering space over 10,000 square feet, anything that we could do a corporate function from. Up here on our 8th floor overlooking the entire downtown area of Fort Lauderdale. Beautiful weekend weddings. And then definitely any bar mitzvahs, social gatherings. We also have 2 fully functional restaurants. The first one is Indigo Restaurant, which is our 3-meal period breakfast, lunch, and dinner concept. More of our American neighborhood staple concept. So you can get anything from Eggs Benedict all the way to burger, pizza, and then a nice steak or chicken dish for the evening time.
Way back when, we had a restaurant here called the Grill Room. So the president, Mike Weymouth, challenged us and said, I don't like dark spaces. So in Las Olas fashion, what did we do? We asked the customers, what do you want? What do you want that space to be? And an overwhelming 90+% of our customers said, make it a seafood restaurant.
And then we have Wild Sea Oyster Bar and Grill, which is our flagship restaurant as of right now, our crown jewel, if you will, serving up some of the freshest and most sustainable seafood that South Florida has to offer. Award-winning chefs and culinary team that are working in that kitchen and just provide an ultimate guest experience that you can't really get anywhere else in this city.
I love the people that I work with, they're terrific. I love the fact that it is a family type environment because the company was formed by a family and we keep that family feel throughout the entire company. And it's Las Olas, which is the heart and soul of downtown Fort Lauderdale. So it's a lot of fun. There's always something going on. It's never a dull moment around here, and it's a great place to work.
The leadership team treats each other like family, and therefore that it goes right on down to the line associate. Everybody here feels that, and it's basically just because they're here. They're not off in Maryland someplace, they're nowhere else, they're right here on property.
The owner's daughter is still the owner of the company, and we see her around from time to time. It's delightful to see her. And the president of our company is also a member of the family that owns the company.
The expression of family for us is genuine. I mean, we really mean it. Obviously, we're in the hospitality business. Obviously, it's a high turnover field. And so we go to great lengths, as great a lengths as we can go to make all these employees feel like this is where they want to finish out their career.
Your greatest asset that you have in any business are your people. And I've lived with that my entire life, and I know how, my people, I shine because of them. I don't make myself shine, they make me shine. So what's important to them is important to me, and that's what makes them want to come back, and that's what makes them want to stay. We have housekeepers who have been here over 30 years.
Over 30 years, yeah, which to me was remarkable. And because of that, I wanted to make sure they knew how much I appreciated their dedication to our family business. And what I do is I engrave a personal brick for each one of those people and put it in the Riverwalk right outside the hotel. So that employee can come back with his family and point to it and always remember. The building was built in 1936 before there was air conditioning. So we came back and we renovated all the rooms and we put in air conditioning when it was available. In 2014, we went through a major facelift of new carpet and new furniture and new light fixtures and new plumbing fixtures and really giving it a facelift.
It really developed what our brand is all about. It is timeless hospitality, international charm.
There was only so much that we could do with the bones of the building. This building, every floor, wall, and ceiling is poured concrete. So it's not like a drywall situation where we can move a wall, or we can open it up, we can do this, that, and the other. So at the end of the whole exercise, we watched things like TripAdvisor very carefully because we wanted to see what the comments were. And a lot of people raved about the new rooms and all that. But invariably, we were getting a knock that we didn't have a fitness center, a true fitness center. And what we had at the time was a couple of hotel rooms that we had converted, and we put some free weights and some exercise equipment in there. And we basically put a little lipstick on the pig and called it a fitness center. And we got called out on it. So I had this epiphany of consolidating all the hotel management, company management into one location. It freed up, I believe it was 11 hotel rooms in the hotel that we could start renting again. And by doing that, I then had the opportunity to put the fitness center up on the second floor where our offices used to be, which is a better use of that space for the hotel. We then had space underneath the fitness center, which was unusable. So with the absorption of all the fine dining places up and down the New River, we felt that a waterfront cafe would be an appropriate use.
Beginning of 2018, we're looking to open up the Riverside Boathouse, which will be, at least as far as Las Olas is concerned, the only waterfront restaurant that you'll be having for dining and for bar seating. The menu is going to be a little eclectic. We're taking a Mediterranean coastal kind of vibe as far as the menu is concerned, small plates, tapas kind of style. We really want to get people involved with sharing and communal seating and an open air environment, and the price point is going to be extremely attractive to most patrons as well. We're not looking to extend anything over, at least far as those tapas plates, anything over $20 for a plate. Anything under that, and a lot of dishes that are between $6 and $10 a plate. And we really want people to be able to come somewhere in a thriving market, but able to get a bang for their buck, enjoy the New River, sit out there, watch some of these boats and mega yachts go by, and ultimately have a great experience on the property, but something that they're another place and restaurant that they're going to want to go back and frequent time and time again.
We're just finishing up the dock. I think that's supposed to be done in the next month or two. The redo of our dock, where it's widened, it's all concrete now, and it's going to be so much better. So guests will be able to pull up to the dock and go to the restaurant, and that'll be the first time on our property that we've had something like that.
The cafe is going to be an unbelievable cafe. It's been priced appropriately. I think people are going to be amazed at what they get as far as value for the food, and enjoying some spectacular drinks. And again, that will have a view over the water and the pool as well. So that's really going to be a great little oasis down the road.
We just added another building next to the hotel. It's a 3-story building. Downstairs is going to be retail, next floor is going to be offices, but the top floor is going to be a rooftop concept. Now, our sales department has 13,000 square feet of rooftop on Las Olas to sell. So it's great for big groups, conventions coming to town to do an off-site event. The rooftop as well will lend itself very, very well to local festivals, events, music, culture, what have you. So the possibilities will be probably endless for that particular space. We're integrating already a tent system with it as well. So if we do have inclement weather, we have the protections for our customers already.
We'll be able to host gatherings or parties up there of up to 800 people. The vistas are incredible. You look out at 50 feet above ground, so you still have the activity of Las Olas and all the surrounding. You can hear everything down below, but the vista and the views go out as far as you can see, and it's pretty incredible.
You know, the moment that you hit the brake in a company, you will lose. As long as you will always have your pedal on the metal, as long as you will always have the accelerator going, you will always go somewhere and you will succeed. And that's certainly one thing that we love about the Las Olas company.
There's so many things to love about this job. I truly love the feeling of family with the employees. I love the aspect that We are trying to build community in the community. We try to be good stewards in the community. I'm fourth generation running this business. So, I've got a lot of legacy that I've got to live up to and try to eclipse. There are great people that live, work, and play on the boulevard that I get to know. So I come in and I do my regular 8 to 6 job, and then after that, invariably, I end up at some sort of a social event where people endlessly rave about the hotel and the company and what we're doing.
We are blessed to have somebody like Mike Weymouth, who's fourth generation Wells, who is just somebody that is a visionary and that truly wants to transform this company from not only good to not only great, but to the best.